Welcome everyone to another episode of Big Brain MMA podcast. I'm your host, BigSteve. Just doing another final bets podcast after the weigh-ins. I did one last week, the debut of it. Felt good to get all my bets out properly, as opposed to just having one podcast. Sometimes I'm not certain. I think it went well. Did fine. Special Christmas edition today. Usually I'm a lot more disciplined with my bets, but I said this last year as well when on the last event of the year, the fully last event, which is today's. I'm just going to be a little bit more. What's the word for it? Less careful, right? I've got big units. I do this for full time, so you can't help but fall into the habit of being a little bit precious with your money and your profits. But yeah, today I just said, F it. It is what it is. Let's go crazy. I got a little bit more juice, a little bit more juicy plays than I usually would, but it is what it is. Special time of the year. So let's do it. Just a quick little announcement. If you haven't noticed, this podcast is now on Spotify, right? Someone asked me on Sherdog. A couple of people actually have. I was always going to do it. I was not going to be in a rush to do it. But two people asked me, and I'm a man of the people, so I thought, let's do it. It took me about 2 hours yesterday to get it on Spotify. It was a pain, but now it's done. So as of the last episode with Johnny from Tiger Bomb MMA, which really good reception to that episode. Thanks everyone for listening. The man has a beautiful voice. I agree. That one is on Spotify, and every single episode, including this one, from now on out, will be on Spotify as well as YouTube. So I'm working on SoundCloud next. I'm not going to be in a rush to do that. I mean, if you want to train and listen to it, you've got Spotify for now. But yeah, somewhere down the line it will be SoundCloud as well. Other than that, let's do a quick recap. I didn't do a quick recap with Tiger MMA last week. So as I said, letting a little more loose on. I'm stumbling my words already. It's almost like I drank. Letting a bit more loose this week. I wish I did it last week. Right, last week I absolutely started the day off crazy. I lost. We even lost the Silva fight. The Silva, I think that was the easiest money on the card. I did bet Simon live. That hit. The Billy Quarantillo finish hit. I missed out on rounds 2 and 3 because I was on the Bucks weekend. By the way, I'm going on the Bucks tonight as well soon. So it's that time of the year. Hit Curtis, no scorecards. Hit Jairzinho under 2.5, minimum sweat. First bet I lost was the pairing over 2.5. I had a bad feeling about that. I'm actually learning something about those bets. Same way as Holland. The Holland and what's his name? Chimaev. I played over because I thought Holland was a good submission grappler, blah, 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 blah. But I learned something that day. It's if someone's going to initiate grappling super aggressively, and the line is not the best, it's a sweaty bet. And that's exactly what happened here. I thought, pairing's tough to sub. But I just had this bad feeling. This kid's going to initiate grappling from the start. He's going to have his back from the start. And that just confirmed that I can't force these over bets if the grappling is going to be so dominant. And, you're basically relying on one guy to survive the onslaught, which Perrin didn't. So lesson learned there. I actually cashed out my Mitchell because I was having such a great day and I was being a pansy with my profits. But then I just live bet him for a quarter unit and still lost that. Hit starts round 3, my biggest bet on in the main event, and then I lost Uncle Ive over 1.5, which I got my man to 2 and Dream to bet for me. No comment, a little bit annoying, only half a unit. I hit Ponzinibbio live betting. I hit Duplessis live bet in round 3. As soon as he got that takedown round 2, I just knew that Till's not winning round 3. Just no heart. Whereas I know Duplessis will fight for my money. So overall, amazing day for live betting. Hit every bet. I wish there were so many half unit sprinkles. I just wish last week was the day that I let loose. But fuck it, I'm letting loose today. So let's get into it. Let's address some of the boys. UFC betting experience. Thanks again. Degging with BigSteve. Can't ask for better, of course, mate. I like to consider myself not a Degging, but how to 2 Dreams, the man, the myth, the legend. All right, let's get into it. Let's smash through it. First fight of the night, Sergey Morozov, Journey Newsom. As I mentioned, I lean towards Morozov by decision. Not the best price. I don't like his money line. Newsom doesn't do much. Stick a move on the outside. Leaves a bit to decide in terms of his fighting style. What I played here was $50 on Newsom by sub. This is paying $23. It actually blew my mind this morning. I woke up, I went to look at it, I thought it was going to be $9, $10, thought I was passing most likely. $23, right? Against a guy that's been subbed multiple times. I mean, he's been subbed twice in the UFC, right? He always gives his back up. The only thing that I kind of don't like about it is Newsom loves the guillotines, and I'm pretty sure Morozov doesn't have one guillotine loss on his record and does go for a lot of takedowns. He did put his neck in a guillotine against Paiva. Paiva didn't go for it, but Newsom went for it, had a deep one against Ramos. He will go for it, you know. If he is going to get submitted, most likely by a rear naked choke. I don't like Newsom's back take per se, but at $23, they're capping this as virtually impossible to happen. You know, a black belt, decent black belt, even if it's a club and sub. So $50. And now that I look at on other bookies, they're like $11 on some other bookies. It's making me want to play $100 on it to win 2K, 2 point something K, right? I could pretty much sacrifice 0.1 unit to win 2 point something, right? So I lied with this one. Everything else I went ham on, but $50, that's a bit of a pansy play. So I'll put $100 on it. Why not? I think $23, expected to lose. It is what it is. So Newsom by sub, even though I fully expect Morozov to grind them out. David Dvorak, Manel Cap, as I mentioned with Tiger Bomb on the podcast, I feel like Dvorak is a bit of a... Maybe doesn't deserve his ranking, you know, after beating some Bruno Silva and Espinoza, guard's been cut, and another short notice dude that I don't think he's had a fight since. And then, you know, took a step up against Nicolau and was wobbling all over the place. Did win round one against him just because Nicolau doesn't do anything. I guess Carp can not do anything either because he's live to do that. But I just think this is a levels fight. You know, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, yeah, Carp might not do much. You know, he didn't do much against pretty much everyone. But then at the end of the day, he still gets a KO. He's knocked out some really high-level fighters, you know, Sakurai in Ryzen, Zalgas. Some people might not think he's a high-level fighter, but I consider him a high-level fighter. If anything, he's very durable. No one's finished him in UFC Alien Cup, and he's fought some high-level opposition. So, yeah, it's a little bit juicy, and I get people taking the... Well, I don't get people taking the Dvorak side because I think if he is going to win, it's going to be by a close decision. And at that point, you know, with the athleticism disadvantage, the speed disadvantage, I don't think he's just going to calf kick Carp to a decision, right? Carp lost the 29-28 to Pantoja, who's a top 3 guy in that division, top 4, let's say. And that was his debut. He was complaining about his feet being slippery. That's why he wears knee braces now, blah, blah, blah. Not knee braces, ankle braces. It's just small margins for Dvorak here. I thought about Carp by KO. It's $3 on some books, pretty generous. I just didn't want to lose my profits. I just ended up with a unit on Carp KO decision. It's $1.61, a little bit better. I had a quick scare of. He's got one rear naked choke submission. I don't think it's going to happen here. So I'm not hammering it like some of the boys that I know. Just one unit, Carp KO decision is what it is. Let's go. Brian Battle, Renat Fakhreddinov. This is pretty passionate about this one. I see a lot of people playing Brian Battle. It's actually made me play Renat because the line came back in. Some people saying round 3 and submission, like Renat is some guy that gasses. I don't understand that. I mean, if anything, Brian Battle is going to gas more than Renat. I mean, he went to life and death with Gore. A lot of people saying Renat, you know, low-level competition, and Brian Battle is the same, right? Who's the best guy he's beat? Gore, potentially Petrosky. Petrosky's time is coming, man. That guy has beat nobody in the UFC. He's gassy. Essentially, everyone Battle has beat was wrestling him or, you know, pressuring him or doing well until they've gassed out and flaked or got knocked out because Sato's very chinny, or, you know, just gave rounds away like Tresh Angol, just getting leg kicked. He does have good volume, I'll give him that, but it's hard to volume someone like Renat who keeps coming forward. He's going to keep coming forward. You know, he dropped down to welterweight. Cardio looked fine. Got reversed a couple of times against Michailidis, and like I mentioned on the original pod, I do think Michailidis is someone that's harder to control. A black belt who wrestled on the Russian regional scene at light heavyweight, and he had success. You know, he had success against the current champion. He dropped down. That's why he was, you know, hard to control. Yeah, maybe he probably is hard to control as well. But at the end of the day, he still got a 30-27, and he got a 10-8. He got a 10-8. So I can see, I can see I think people are just underestimating Renat here. Pardon me, I'm keep getting distracted by the comments. My attention span's horrendous this morning. I woke up at 5 a.m. to do some KSW, so I think it's just people trying to fade Renat because they're thinking he's like one of those fraud Russians. I think Battle is going to have a lot of time against the cage. Yes, I think he will have the volume in the middle, in the center of the octagon. I don't think there's going to be a lot of time in the center of the octagon. He's going to be defending a lot, and I don't know how he's going to look at welterweight. Right, he had a 1 minute fight against Sato. How's he going to handle the constant grappling? He gassed quite badly against Trey Shango, and he went to a split. So, all right, tell me how he's going to do with the incredible pace and pressure by Renat, who also throws bombs. He's got that sambo striking. So I thought about hammering this one. I thought about doing the over as well. Renat wins by decision. I win that, or he covers me. Or I thought about Renat by sub or decision. He's got a mean guillotine. Or I also thought if Brian's going to win, it's probably going to be by sub, although I don't see him submitting Renat. But I just thought, fuck it. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear now that it's on Spotify, but it is what it is. I'm swearing. I just thought, F it. 1,500 Renat to win just over a unit, $1.71. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's address these comments so they're not distracting me. Morris round 3 and decision combo is my thoughts. I didn't bet anything yet. Look, I would just go decision. I don't think Newson's going to slow down or anything in round 3. I just see it like the Taha fight, which I actually bet Morozov by decision against Kali Taha. I see it similar to that. Just because Newsom runs away and he survived an onslaught from Ramos. He used to fight with shoes on. Yeah, that's exactly what he said, Cut. 3 units on Renat. Brave man, 1.5 units will be enough for me. The scorecards in action for Battle is a little interesting. Don't know if I'll touch it. See, the reason I can't play the overs and stuff like that is because I'm scared that Renat's going to finish Battle down at welterweight. Right? I know Battle is durable, has good cardio, etc., etc. I just don't know how he's going to look. I just don't know how he's going to look against incredible pressure from Renat. And I know Renat's mostly a decision machine, but he's got that amazing guillotine, and he left Andreas absolutely bloodied up from the ground and pound at the end of that round. So, if Battle gets flattened out or something, and he cleaned Eric Spicely's clock, and that was a middleweight. So I'm a little bit nervous. The cardio aspect here is I don't want to rely on Renat just going to a decision at a high clip just because he went to a decision with the Greek guy that everyone thought was going to finish. So, let's move on. Mahashate Garcia, this was a pass for me even before Mahashate missed weight. I do lean. It feels like it'll be a hindsight play where Rafa Garcia, slows down a little bit, gets his takedowns, grinds him out, and Mahashate just can't land the knockout blow and ends up losing. But it's just something putting me off. He's big. He's going to have, the crisper striking, in my opinion. Garcia usually has horrible control, with the judges. They don't really care about control that much these days. And even though Garcia is durable, he's got average cardio as himself as well. And Mahashate, seems to have good power. He landed a beastly check knee against Achilles on Contender Series. I don't know much about Achilles. He was never finished though, so I don't know how Garcia's he's gonna react to a switch knee like that. So pass 5 for me. This could be a good live bet fight though. Said Nurmagomedov, Saad Jakub Kakramanov. Oh man, I was about to tape this fight for the 3rd time today, and I just said no. That's way too much time. If you're taping it 3 times, just means pass. All right, time is valuable. It just means I can't get a proper read. If I was going to play anything, go the distance, $1.71. If anyone's going to get a finish, I'm kind of leaning towards the Said M side, just because he's so dynamic and he's got a guillotine, he's got explosive strikes. I've seen him finish fighters before. Said Jakub most likely just finishes with big overhands. I think Said N is relatively durable. I don't think he's getting submitted. He's fought Barcelos, he's fought a high level of competition, so I have that footage to know that he's durable. Yeah, hard fight to get a read on. I see Twitter has moved line onto Said Jakub now. Some of the people I respect are on Said N. I just can't get a read, and I'm not going to take this a billionth time. Just trust my instincts and move on. Great fight though. Could be a live bet fight. If anyone's going to slow down, it's Said N. So you could look at that aspect. Jack Matthews, Matt Semmelsberger. I take this a bit more extensively since the original podcast. Jack Matthews, I still concede that he's a lot faster, a lot more athletic. Matt Semmelsberger, a lot more plotting. He's going to be at Jack Matthews' mercy early. he usually drops everyone. Dropped Rocco Martin, everyone. Brady. He's got a great round one. He's got great takedowns early. That's another hole in Semmelsberger's game. That's the reason I'm not playing Semmelsberger early. Pre-bet, pardon me. I'm going to look to live bet just because Matthews does have an amazing round one. If Matthews is going to lose, he usually loses late. He flakes. Starts well, slows down. As I mentioned on the podcast, we haven't seen his cardio in a bit unless it was like to really bad fighters like Diego Sanchez and Ruckman. And rounds 2 against Fiallo, he also came out swinging, no takedown attempts. So the guy's just not trustworthy, especially at this line. And I think I'll quite confidently think that Semmelsberger is a level up from Fiallo and Sanchez and Emil Meek. So Semmelsberger has a really good round 3 as well, right? He almost finished Morono. He gets takedowns. He had the heart to finish Fletcher. And I don't think he's going to get finished. You see, we've seen him fight a lot of athletic fighters in the UFC, like Fletcher, Chaos Williams. He was taking bombs from Chaos Williams for 3 rounds, didn't fold. So I don't think Matthews is going to knock him out. I see a lot of people on the sub. Yeah, it's okay. It's not the best price. I'm done trusting Matthews with his guillotine. Even went for it against Brady. I've seen Semmelsberger defend 2 deep guillotines against AJ Fletcher and an arm triangle choke. I just think most likely this is going over. Matthews, if I was going to play something, it would be Matthews by decision. I still feel like he drops round 3. I'm interested in this fight. I'm just going to pass and look to live bet Semmelsberger if it's 1-1 into the third. Right, I'm not going to bet him after round 1 because I think Matthews has enough to win round 2 still. Shane Willismus, Corey McKenna. Oh, this is the popular one. The jury's out. Am I going to have a play here? So I think the only reason people are so split is because of 2 fights. Corey McKenna's fight with Miranda Granger, where she actually looked decent for once, and obviously Willismus' fight against Montserrat Ruiz, where she looked horrendous and she kept getting head and arm thrown, which if you tape Ruiz, that's her special move. She's got scarf holds from there. She's submitted girls from there. And when she head and arm throws them, they don't get out and they usually get finished, ground and pound or submission. Willismus got out. If you actually tape her other fights, she exhibits quite good general takedown defense. Every single takedown stuffed against Hillary Rose. Hillary Rose got deep on her hips, hands locked behind her knees. She was about to trip her a few times, and Cheyenne got on top, which means strong hips, strong base, doesn't settle on bottom. And just Mallory Martin, not the best takedown attempts, but just clinches, and she did get in deep in round 3. But what I saw from Willismus is she was a lot more patient there. I'm concerned about her aggressiveness, and maybe end up on bottom from doing something stupid. She does end her combinations with kicks, body kicks, and Martin kept trying to catch him. She didn't though because she's, like I said, very aggressive and she kept pulling him back. So I did like that she was a lot more calm there. She was focused on just countering. She was lighting up Mallory Martin. 30-27 is the best scorecard there. All the media members agreed. I don't know why the judge gave it 29-28, 2 of them at least. But on the other side, even though Mallory Martin didn't have the best entries and McKenna does, she locks her hands behind the opponent's butt. That's her best takedown. Mallory Martin's best takedown is the clinch, and when she grapevines the legs and trips him, and she couldn't get any of that off. Willismus showed very good balance again. So that's why I'm leaning Willismus, right? She's a lot more explosive, athletic. I don't want to talk too much about it. I already have talked more than I wanted to. Corey McKenna has a lot of holes. She's tiny reach. On the first look, her striking does look quite great, like decent. She's crisp. She's got a nice 1-2. But as Dean Thomas mentioned in one of her fights, I think it was the Lee Reed fight, it's not just enough to have your high guard up. She has a high guard up and she throws nice jabs, 1-2s, but she gets hit with everything. Her first loss, Nicole Disegni, the horrible Italian chick, but she got busted up bad in that one in Cage Warriors. Yes, she was very young, but this is not a new thing, right? She obviously Vanessa Demopoulos, just nothing to do with it. Kay Hansen was busting her up. Not busting her up, just cracking her. Kay Hansen took her down with ease, by the way, as well. And Kay Hansen has bad wrestling. We've seen that. She's been cut. She's got 1 or 2 good takedowns in her, but she gets stuffed by a lot of the fighters in the UFC. Elise Reed was lighting her up. Elise Reed's takedown defense when she locked her hands behind her back was to punch her. One of the takedowns where she got lifted up in a high crutch, Elise Reed jumped up in the air and just helped Corey McKenna slam her. Right, that's the extent of Elise Reed's takedown defense. These are the people that Corey McKenna's taking down. Miranda Granger, I don't want to waste my breath talking about it at all. She's not worthy of breaking down in any sort of way. By the way, I faded Miranda Granger by submission. And the way she got submitted was a one flu choke. Just no comment. All right. So she's getting taken down by Hansen. She stole that decision. She's getting reversed. Elise Reed was cracking her. Elise Reed, she couldn't pass Elise Reed's guard. If her ground game is so good, why couldn't she get out of Elise Reed's guard? All right. It made Elise Reed look like she's got Eddie Bravo kind of retention. All right. Couldn't get up, got lit up. She got wobbled in round 3. All right. If Cheyenne just fights like against Mallory Martin, this is her fight to lose. You know, she's going to counter her head off. Corey McKenna's going to come in. She's going to shoot telegraphed shots. I would hope Cheyenne would defend him better than Elise Reed, for example, or Granger. If she gets taken down, I feel like she'll get up. I can easily see her getting her own takedowns on the regionals. She does rough up girls against the cage and takes them down, as we've seen Kay Hansen throw Corey McKenna all around the place. I can see this being a lot closer, but I'm going to keep my unit. I've got 1,100, a little bit more than a unit on Cheyenne at $1.60. I thought about KO a decision and reduce my stakes, but it's just 6 cents difference. I'm not going to get burnt here. So 1 unit on Cheyenne. I think just all the advantages here. I think she's improving. McKenna's improving too. She's 23, but Cheyenne's like 27, man. And she's extreme couture. She's got a lot of potential. The stuff that she does, a lot of girls don't have, like the intangibles, like the aggression, the power, the athleticism, right? And McKenna will never have that, unfortunately. So I don't think she'll always have troubles with girls like Cheyenne. So yeah, Cheyenne by just money line, 1.1 for me. If McKenna's going to win, it's going to be a silly decision. She's going to steal a decision, right? She's going to steal it like she stole it against Kay Hansen. Let's say Cheyenne gets on top, and then Corey gets her back, and then Corey McKenna gets reverses and throws a couple of ground and pound punches, and the judges gift her the decision. So yeah, it does feel a little bit nerve wracking. This is low level MMA. I still consider it low level, but yeah, 1 unit, 1.1 on Cheyenne. Let's see what happens. Cody Brundage, Mikhail Olazenchik. This fight could go anywhere. Still hard to get a read on Brundage. The one thing I know is the guy doesn't react well. Bad optics to striking. Even crop shot on LFA when he started lighting him up on in round 2, he took him down. A lot of round 1 finishes. 1.5 is a popular play here. I'm a little bit sketchy about it. I think Cody's improving personally. He's 28. You know, he's athletic. He's got that wrestling base. I think he's got some power. But yeah, Omielanchik is quite good as well. I think if you want to play one of those round props that I've been giving out a lot recently, you can play Omielanchik round 1 and 2 KO. It's like $2.30, or you can play Cody Brundage rounds 2, 3 sub. Right? He mentioned he was going to get subs. I think Mikhail still has a weakness to the submissions, to takedowns. Right? His cardio, we haven't seen it past round 1 in a bit. We haven't seen it at middleweight. Obviously, just ran through old mate Sam Alvey, which I cashed there. That was I hate over unders, and that under was plus money, so I just had to take that. Just slow down against Jacoby. Jacoby was wrestling him. Whenever he goes, even slow down against Modestas from chasing him. So what if he beats the crap out of Cody? Cody doesn't get finished. Slows down a bit. Cody gets on top in round 2. He's a big middleweight. Anything can happen, man. He's got good wrestling submissions, the arm triangle, etc., etc. So yeah, I'm really close to. I can't really find the parlay piece, but I'm close to playing the under 2.5 here big. So maybe 2.5K on it. I was gonna play rounds 2. Doesn't start round 3, but honestly, on a lot of the bookies, it's almost identical to under 2.5 on Bet365. So under 2.5 on Bet365 is $1.44. That feels relatively safe to me. If it goes over, I don't know how it goes over really. Maybe Brundage getting consistent takedowns and not being able to, get him out of there with the sub or ground and pound, potentially. But I think, round 1, rounds 2, it's just the bad optics. Bad optics from Brundage. He hates being punched. He hates being pressured. We've seen him in the goal fight as well. So yeah, I'm really close to just hammering. I haven't hammered it yet, but I would advise people to play that personally, and you can come back and attack me if it doesn't hit. Just a really good feeling about that play. Drew Dober, Bobby Green. I went back and forth on this fight. I got a lot of plays here. I've got Dober, no scorecards. It's quite juicy, $1.40. But, like I said, It's not my usual day today. I'm just hammering it. If Bobby Green goes out there and somehow finishes Drew Dober, whatever, it would be a shock to me, to the system. It is what it is. I also got the distance at $1.72, probably the best price I could find on Bet365. And I also got Dober KO decision at $1.90 at Pick'em. The only reason I play that as a Pick'em is because it's a insane line, and I don't know. That's just, yeah. Obviously, if Green gets a finish somehow, everything goes down the drain. Green has been close to finishing people. He got close to finishing Alan Patrick. He almost finished Bernardo in the rematch. He almost got the way he got finished as well. I looked at those fights, right? When I'm certain on my bets, I just retaped the ones where I got bets just to see if I'm missing anything. He took a lot more of a beating against Poirier than I remember. He got hit on the temple and he survived. He survived, and we all know the Poirier blitz. That went on for like 2-3 minutes, and he survived it. And then just Poirier kept coming and coming. And yes, I know Dober comes, but it's a lot of single shots. His straight left and head kicks is the best shot. I think Bobby Green can maneuver past all those. He's got great recovery. Renata hit him on the temple as well, breaking out of the clinch. So he's vulnerable in rounds 1 to the temple, right? His chin's not bad. It's just getting hit behind the ear is where he can possibly get put out. As opposed on the other side, if this is not the girl, the distance is not going to cash. It's probably if Dober eats a billion shots to the dome like he did against Riddell. But man, watching that again this morning, he was eating straight counter shots to the chin by Riddell, who's hurt everyone in the UFC. That guy's the most unlucky guy not to get a KO in the UFC, especially when he hit Alex De Silva in the eye socket, and Alex De Silva went back and the ref called it an eye poke. That guy hits like a truck, and I think that was before he went on his losing streak and before he lost passion with the sport. Like he said, he earned his ranking beating Drew Dober in a war. He took a beating, and even in round 3 when he had a big one to the dome, he just started to back up, and he had 2 more, and he just shot for a takedown. So he still didn't get dropped. So I find it really hard to see how Bobby finishes. Maybe a submission, maybe a guillotine or something jammy. But yeah, I haven't fully finalized it. I thought I was going to like Bobby decision. There's something that I don't like about it. I think it's the constant pressure for Dober. I think it's the higher up. He's got good output himself. He's got big shots. Just the fact that he's not going to react to Bobby's shots, or Bobby might react to his, that's what's scaring me off. Kind of like the Fiziev fight. Yes, Fiziev's probably a better striker than Dober, more well-rounded, but Fiziev also gassed badly in 3, and I don't know if Dober fights his steady game of just constant pressure and picks his shots, I don't think he's going to gas as badly there. So I passed on Green decision. I guess go the distance covers both. So I've got Dober no scorecards 1,000, Dober KO decision 1,000 at Pick'em, and go the distance 1,000 to win 700. I won't keep all those. Maybe just go the distance, and obviously I have to keep Dober no scorecards. I played it on a card that I can't cash out. So yeah, let's move on. Dober by decision would be ideal if I kept all those 3. Alex Caceres, Julian Erosa. I was going to completely pass on this fight, and then my man Subliminal MMA, shout out mate. He told me about Erosa submission or decision, $2, right? You can only play Erosa as an underdog. I think I wasn't really impressed by Caceres' tape, even though I was thinking dogger pass before tape. Yeah, that submission or decision on Bet365, they have the best double chances, it's kind of it's calling my name. That might be a play as well. I just saw it just before I went live, so it's a little bit risky because Erosa hits very hard and he's got a lot of KOs in the UFC against some durable guys as well. He's wobbled Dawadu. He's hurt almost everyone. But he's pretty live to club and sub. So, and Caceres has been sub a lot of times, even though his own submission game's improved a lot. So Erosa KO decision, submission or decision at barely plus money is the way I'm going to play it. Haven't played it yet. That's going to be a play. Amir Albazi, Alessandro Costa. Someone I really respect just said he's on Costa. I lean towards Amir by just slightly outclassing him, more volume. It's hard to tell how good Costa is just fighting people on Lux fight series. He's got power. When he doesn't knock people out, it's close decisions. So it's pass for me. I don't want to be playing Albazi or parlaying him or anything like that. Just because I don't know much about Costa, I don't know if I can bank on Albazi finishing him or going to a decision, but that Albazi decision is quite juicy. maybe round 3 or decision if you think he's going to cook him till round 3. Armin Saruki and Damir Ismagulov, man, this fight, this is I just taped so much of Damir's M1 footage, just trying to find some footage of him on his back, or getting thrown around a bit, and there's just nothing, man. There's nothing. I only watched round 5. I'm not going to go back 2013. He got held up against, not the cage, the ropes against Raul Tutarauli, 21-3. That guy just wanted to take him down. That was for 5 rounds. He was trying to. That guy's 31-6 now, and he's 30 years old in his prime. UFC, where you at? Maybe you should give this guy a shot on a Contender Series. That guy just wanted to take him down, and he couldn't. As Magulov stopped every single takedown, and he was kind of tossing him. He's got good balance. He has a good whizzer. And then in rounds 4 and 5, he started to take him down, right? So obviously he gassed out a little bit. Defended. And then in the UFC, there's not much. Obviously, defended 1 or 2 takedowns against Moises, who got in deep. He hit a switch on him, nice switch. Defended a few against Alves. Yeah, it's just hard. Defended a lot against Guram Kutateladze. I know he started out as a kickboxer, but he's a very good wrestler ever since he started training with him. Comes up. Right, so that's all we have. We don't have much footage to deal with. But from what I was seeing, the guy's stuffing takedowns. He's got his own wrestling is elite. Probably actually not elite. It's not as great as Sarukian's offensive wrestling. But he's got great scrambling. You can just assume if he does get taken down, he's not going to be someone that's going to sit on his ass long. He's going to be scrambling up. He's going to be digging that whizzer. Right. On the other side, Armin, I think Armin still has some holes. I know everyone creams over him, right? Hence why the line is always so juicy. Hence why people are smashing him a juice against Gamrot, a proven KSW double champ that's had 1 million 5-round fights. Right. And Armin never has. And even now, the line it's going all towards Armin. He's still hittable, right? Fravola cracked him a couple of times. David Ramos cracked him a couple of times. Usually goes to a decision. He knocked out, Giagos, and Giagos stuffed one of his takedowns, got on top of him. Alvarez just, no takedown defense whatsoever. And Gamrot, was scrambling, and then started to light him up with the boxing. So Damir's got the much better hands. He's the much better boxing. He's less physical. They're both athletic and fast, but I do rate Damir's hands much, much higher. Armin is more of a kickboxer. He's got some solid kicks. Yeah, it's a dog or pass for me. I still haven't, despite all this tape that I did this morning, again, retaped it, I still haven't come to a conclusion other than dog or pass. Maybe the line keeps moving, and then I'll be forced to play it. Or I'll probably just do what I was going to do with Gordon against Pimblett, but I didn't because I was away. It's just sprinkle a little bit on decision, right? It's just the thing is 270 and 340 decision's not much different. So dog or pass for me. I know this is my final bets, and everything should be locked in, but yeah, I haven't locked in anything on this. So it's most likely going to be a pass come fight night. Depends how my night's going. But yeah, I'm maybe 60% to make it easier for you. 60% close to away from playing as Magulov. I'm leaning towards it. The more I was seeing today, the more I was leaning towards him. Main event of the evening, Jared Cannonier, Sean Strickland. Still lean towards Strickland, still haven't played it. The money's coming on Jared Cannonier. I see a lot of Twitters on the all no scorecards for Jared. I didn't even bother looking at it because I thought it was going to be absolutely juiced. And then I looked at it today, and it is $1.64. And that's intrigued me now. That's intrigued me. I don't think he's going to knock him out. And I'm also nervous about Sean Strickland. This is the 3rd time I've mentioned it. I'm not fully set on Cannonier's durability. When Strickland lets his hands go and when he pressures, he can knock people out. And it's a 5-rounder. And obviously he didn't do it. He didn't do it to Hermanson. He was worried about the takedown. There's no takedowns here. All right, so that's my concern here. And I'm not going to tape this fight again. I don't have time. I'm going to do KSW. But something's stopping me from playing. I think Strickland should be the slight favorite here. I don't understand the pick and line. It's throwing me off. But yeah, nothing feels good here. Over unders, nothing feels good. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel good. If I was going to play, I guess I would play that. I'll play that no scorecards. Maybe I can play that scorecards decision no bet for Jared Cannonier as a hedge. as a hedge and then play Strickland. And if Strickland wins a decision, I win. If Strickland wins a KO, I win. Actually, no, that's a bad bet because it's not really a good hedge because I still lose that decision, I bet. Yeah, nothing at the moment. Nothing at the moment. I don't know how live bet's going to look. I think it's going to look exactly how I predict it. So I'm not going to see anything new. I think he's going to check kicks. I don't think Cannonier is going to hit him for a bit. He's going to be losing minutes. So yeah, I'll lean Strickland here. Alrighty, let's address some of these comments. If Bobby Green KOs Crimson Chin, it will be more shocking. It will be quite shocking. That's why I played it. I juiced numbers. Don't know, man, how Armin covers 70%. Exactly, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, he's gone for 29-28, against Ramos. The millionaire OAM, right? And I used to think OAM has elite takedown defense, and he does. Then I'm seeing him get taken down by Stevie Ray and others since he's left the UFC. So I don't know, man. On the feet, it's gonna be sweaty. Damien knows how to win striking decisions, even if there's no wrestling involved. The only reason why I haven't played it yet is because he uses his wrestling to solidify his rounds. I think he's going to struggle to get any takedowns and solidify him on Armin Sarukian. So then, if he gets dropped or cracked by a shot, like in what the guy's name, the explosive Brazilian Alves. If he gets dropped like that in that fight, he can't really use his wrestling to bail him out. But also I feel like Armin's going to get robbed again. I have this feeling that Armin's going to get robbed. Thanks for listening as well, Parky. You're the man. Morozov, plus minus 2-5 rounds. Cody, Lias, KSW, plus Airsline. It's a safe option. That's a lot of options to consider it safe. I think, is Liasi is that the rematch? Is he like the Netherlands, that Dutch guy, the jiu-jitsu dude? I was looking to fade him in the last KSW, and I have to take that after this. So we'll see how that first fight was going before I finish. Appreciate the stream, Steve. Best MMA streams on YouTube. Oh, it's very generous of you, mate. It means a lot. A lot of streams out there. I know it's a tough competition. I just try to be the most hardcore reliant podcast. Not too much fluff. Not too boring as well. But yeah, it's all about making money here and having good bets. Puds round 1 KO. Big Brain MMA podcast. I'm leaning towards Puds. I was waiting for the line to get a bit better. I don't think he will. I think him as a dog could still be a good play. Khalidov, first time taping him ever from a betting perspective, and I just red flag after red flag. Scott Askren looked like Khabib against him. He's 42 years of age. He's only 3 years difference to Puds. Right? I know Puds is 45. And he's 42. Horrible takedown defense. Can't stop a takedown at middleweight. Puds likes to wrestle. He's throwing heavyweights around. Yeah, they're not the best heavyweights, but he's throwing them around. He's got some round 3 KOs after his gassed. So he can be gassed. He can be getting leg kicked by Khalidov and then explodes, gets on top, and yeah, dog will pass me there. What's this? Going to be Jared landing harder versus volume. Will be a shit show if it hits the cards. Indeed. That I had Strickland big against Hermanson, and I guess good bet in hindsight. 50-45, but the split doesn't make it look good, and that's what I'm scared about. But maybe that Crosby won't be there tomorrow because he's under investigation. Who knows? And I also lost money against Jared when I played Gastelum. Jared loves to win fights or make him close despite not having any volume whatsoever. It's quite annoying. And I don't know if Strickland can separate himself from that fight. Armin finishes and exhausted Dami in round 3 I will be surprised. That'll be a feat right there. Yeah. So that's the KSW parlay. That's Lias. I need to see Lias. From what I remember from Lais, submission over position, which I didn't like. I would put a unit on parts if DK had KSW lines. Yeah, that's unfortunate, mate. I've only got on Unibet and Picklebet. So, and Picklebet doesn't have that fight. Doesn't have the main event. Can you believe that? Every single KSW card, Picklebet has one fight missing from KSW, and it's the fight that I want to bet. It's just retarded. It's like they know. I'm just checking now. No, less than 24 hours before, they still don't have that fight. Just stupid. Anyway, let's summarize this and get out of here. So Morozov, lean him by decision, but I have $50 on Houston by submission, $23, insane. If he's going to win in any way, it's going to be by sub or club and sub. Got 1 unit, $1,000 on Cup, KO decision. I think it's the levels fight. Renat, 1.5K to beat Brian Battle. I think potentially levels fight. I think he's just going to keep coming. Hopefully doesn't get robbed. Makashata Garcia pass. Said Nagomedov, Said Yakub pass. Jake Matthews, Matt Semmelsberger pass, but I'm looking to live bet Semmelsberger. I've got a unit on Cheyenne, or 1,100, pardon me. A little bit more than a unit on Cheyenne. More athletic, more aggressive. Should be lining her up. Should be countering her. Should be taking her down as well if she wants. Just no brain parts. Not my usual play, but it's Christmas time. EPKA. Cody Brundage, Mikal. I think the safest play here is the under 2.5. It's a bit juicy. I just have this gut feeling like it's safe. Like it's going to end in rounds 1 and 2, worst case. So either way, it should be covered. Drew Dober, Bobby Green. I have go the distance, which is quite generous. I think it's generous because of Drew Dober, which is a finishing animal. It's going to be very sweaty. All right, like I said, Green's been hurt multiple times and finished. Dober's been hurt. Dober eats a lot of punches. It's going to be striking battle. It's going to be maybe hurting people, pressure, volume. You'll be sweating, but I just think the line's okay. I got Drew Dober KO decision. I just haven't decided which ones I'm keeping. And $1,000 on Drew Dober, no scorecards. I will post it on Twitter though. Julian Aressa submission or decision. I'm going to play that, maybe half a unit for submission, last minute play. Nothing on Amir Albazi Costa. Nothing on Sarukian at the moment. Damia, dog or pass, easy. Probably on him in some way, one way or another, tomorrow when I wake up. And Strickland, I lean that way, nothing, haven't played anything. So that's it. That's all the plays. Not much. Again, I wish I went ham last week when everything was just cashing easily, and I was like, because they're props, I'll only put half a unit on him. Silly by me. It was going to be red panty. That's pretty much it. Good luck to everyone. Right, I'm not sure if I'll do a podcast, like the end of the year podcast. I will do my overview of all my bets of my year. At the moment, I'm like 41,000 up, which my goal was 50. I stopped caring about that because I was making me force bets. I will do an overview on Sherdog. It will be an extensive write-up. I recommend everyone does it. The 6 months write-up, it just changes your game completely. It's important to hold yourself. It's important to hold yourself accountable. If you do it because I'm telling you to do it, it's not the same thing. You should want to. I can't wait for 6 months to come, and so I can go through all the mistakes I've made, so I can fix them for the end of the year. Right. So it's you should want to better yourself. It's one thing to write notes every single week. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done this, and then you do it again next week and you write it again. But when you go through 6 months worth of cards and you keep seeing the same mistake over and over again, that's when it hits you. That's when you're not going to make this. That's when you're going to stop making that mistake. That's when it hits. When you see that mistake for 6 months straight and how much money you've lost on it, it will fix your game completely. So I'll be doing that. I don't know if I'll do a podcast on it. Maybe I will. But there's like a New Year's event in 2 weeks, and I think I'll have a podcast for that too. I guess I have to. So we'll see. But either way, I'll do it right up. I hate those fight of the night, knockout of the night podcasts. I never watch that shit. Like, who cares? It's just meaningless awards. Like, no one wants to watch me breaking that awards down, my own personal awards. It's stupid. So yeah, I might do a end of the year podcast, a quick one, and I'll probably do the New Year's after I take 5 days off. So I can't wait to take a bit of a break. Great advice. Thanks, Parky. Let's Steve out. I'm going to try betting less on role players next year. I don't know what that means. Maybe you can clarify it for me. Thanks for everyone. Going huge on Armin. The boy is a future champ for real. Oh, plus caps lock, which means he's serious. Good luck, man. UFC betting experience. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to kick it. I'm going to tape some KSW before I go on another Bucks Night weekend. Good luck. All the best. Like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. And this is going to be on Spotify. Oh, yeah. See you later.